All right, let's begin. So your first step is going to open up your preferred browser and head over to Zillow.com. So first thing I'm going to do is show you what an active listing looks like on Zillow. So let's check out our personal listing. This is what your view is going to look like whenever you look up properties. Now the biggest, really the only indicator, I guess, that it's going to show you that this home is for sale is always going to be above the price point. And you can see right here, it plainly says for sale. Zillow uses colored dots to tell you the status of the listing. A red dot means for sale, which will be written right beside the red dot. So anytime you see this red dot and the for sale words beside it, that means this property is active and available for you to schedule a showing for and potentially make an offer on. So let's go back to the homepage of Zillow. And let's say you are looking in the Spring Hill area. So you can see here there are a lot of different homes for sale. There are a ton of homes for sale. So when you do for sale, here it's going to break it down by agent, by owner, new construction, foreclosures, and coming soon. So by agent means that it is listed with a realtor. By owner means it is listed directly through the owner. New construction, of course, means it is a home that maybe is not built yet, but it is being constructed. May be a good option for those of you looking for a new home. So foreclosures, this is something that a lot of people might get confused on. Foreclosures and foreclosed are two separate entities. So let's unclick everything and let's look at foreclosures. So as it states, these properties are currently listed for sale. They are owned by a bank or a lender who took ownership through foreclosure proceedings. These are also known as REOs, bank-owned or real estate-owned properties. So you have this one here. This is a foreclosure. Again, it has the red dot, which means it is for sale. Okay. Now, a foreclosure means simply that you are dealing with a bank directly rather than a person, said the owner of the home, selling it. Quite often you find that foreclosures need some TLC. So not every loan, such as a FHA, VA, or USDA loan, will be able to qualify for a foreclosure. So a big tip for any of you who are looking for foreclosures, or maybe you really like a home and it is a foreclosure, I would recommend you getting in touch with Max or I to kind of see if the home looks like it is in a condition that would be acceptable for those government loans like an FHA, USDA, VA. Okay. So next, let's see these coming soon. Now that just kind of tells you that, hey, these are going to be for sale, and it will, 9 times out of 10, it'll tell you when they're going to be set. Like this one, October 17th, October 5th. So that's just something for you to look for. This has a red dot. It shows you up here. Anything that's for sale is going to have that red dot. Okay, so here's where it gets a little tricky. These potential listings. Now, this means that these homes are potential listings. Let's see what they say. Properties that may be coming to the market soon but are not yet found on MLS. They include pre-foreclosures, foreclosed homes, and homes with a make-me-move price. Now, this says most of these properties are only found on Zillow. Sometimes you can find them on sites like Realtor.com, Homes.com, Redfin, Trulia, etc. So let's take a look at foreclosed homes. Like I said in the beginning, this is different from a foreclosure. Let's see what they say. So this says the same thing as foreclosure, except this says it's not found on MLS. So this says foreclosed, and you notice how it gives a foreclosure estimate as well as a zestimate. Now, this is not a direct indicator of what the home will be priced for. So please do not look at this price and think that that is the price that is going to be offered at. It could be over that or it could be lower. It all depends. This is just a figure that Zillow comes up with. I will be doing a video on Zestimates in the future. Let me know if you guys are interested in learning more about that and how that differs from actual market price. Okay, so this is a foreclosed home. If you go down, it'll give you the foreclosure information. Legal disclaimer, foreclosure information is derived from public records data. The accuracy is thus only as accurate as public records from which it originates. It's highly recommended that you only use this information as a starting point and contact a foreclosure specialist. Foreclosure specialist would be a realtor. That's kind of what they mean. So this says on August 8th, this property was foreclosed. The lender foreclosed on this property. The lender may list it for sale as a foreclosure property in the future. Okay, so if you go here, this will tell you more legal information, what type of foreclosure it was, if it was recorded, the parcel number, if there's also an attorney attached to this, it'll have the attorney's information. The public records will also give you information on what bank seized the property. Now, the unfortunate thing with foreclosed homes is there is no guaranteed time that the bank will release the property to sell it. I have seen where it's, within a month. I've seen where it's, it's been foreclosed for a couple of years and the bank is just still holding on to it. So it really all depends on the property. I would recommend for you, if you do see a foreclosed home on Zillow and you're interested in it, please send us a message with the address and we will get as much information as we can for you on that. Okay, so pre-foreclosure. This is different from a foreclosed home or a foreclosure. The lender initiated foreclosure proceedings on these properties because the owners were in default on their loan obligations. Pre-foreclosures also include properties for which a foreclosure auction is scheduled. These properties are also not found on the MLS. So let's take a look at this. Again, this is not currently for sale, so you see that blue dot. So this is where it will give you the information for the foreclosure information. This says on August, the home was in default. This property has been served a notice of lis pendens. If you're not familiar with what a lis pendens is, this refers to an action affecting title. Foreclosures or actions for recovery of possession of property, the most common. Notice may result from an action that has nothing to do with the foreclosure. Okay, so this gives you the information for who the foreclosure attorney is and how to reach them. So if you're really interested in a pre-foreclosure that's not for sale yet, there can be ways to get in contact and try to purchase that property before it does get seized by the bank, because once that happens, it can be a while before the bank lets it go. Okay, so this is a make me move section. This basically says that, hey, we are not actively selling, but let's see exactly what they say. The owner of this home is interested in selling for the price posted. This feature is exclusive to Zillow. Oh, exclusive. All right, so anyways, it says this is what they're wanting to sell at. They are most likely not negotiable and looking for this price or above. Of course, everybody's different. They don't even really have any pictures, so I'm not really sure how ready they are to move. And you can find information on this property just by scrolling through it and taking a look. You can see it's been on Zillow for 120 days and it doesn't look like they've had a price drop. So if you really love a property and you see that that's their make me move price and you are willing to pay that or something close to it, that doesn't mean that it's not an option for you. Let's see here. Purple dot, that is properties for rent. So of course, you can go look for properties to rent here. That's pretty cut and dry. It'll say house for rent and it'll have the amount listed here that they want for a rent. 9 times out of 10, if it does have a red dot or a blue dot, it is not for rent. So, they may not be interested in entertaining any rental offers. Okay, So yellow dot, we're getting close to the end here. These are sold. If you see this here, this will tell you what the property sold for and when it sold. So that means that this property is not for sale. You see, note this property is not currently for sale or rent. Description below may be from a previous listing. And lastly, what we're going to go over is properties that are off market. So this means that the property is not for sale. It is not coming soon. It may have been sold, but not recently, so Zillow will not highlight it as a sold property. It is also not necessarily a foreclosure. This is just a property that somebody owns and is not at this time interested in selling. So I'm going to show you a property that we are actually going to be listing soon with some buyers that we're working with. So this will show you that the property is off market. This gray dot indicates it being off market, and this here tells you this home is not currently listed for sale or for rent on Zillow. And typically this information is from a previous listing. Now again, you can see it will give you a Zestimate. Like we talked about, does not indicate what they may sell it for in the future. Could be more, could be less. So anytime you see that gray dot, that is going to indicate that this property is not for sale. Okay, well I hope that helped you guys out just a little bit. I know that that is something that we see that's very common, so you know, don't feel like silly if you've had a hard time figuring that out. It's, you know, not very common that everybody knows exactly how to navigate Zillow or how to, you know, really determine which homes are active and ready. Okay, well, if you guys are interested in getting a video all about Zestimates and how they can be wrong, or sometimes on occasion they can be pretty close, leave a comment below and I'd be happy to do that. Bye!